we have our next speaker, and our next speaker is Gabby.
Yeah.
What's
So
up?
welcome, Gabby, who's over in Ohio in the US, which, in her own words, she likes the cold and
She
she likes
does.
wintry weather and all that kind of stuff. And I have to say, I kind of agree with that. So welcome, Gabby.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you very much. Would you mind telling us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Gabby, Gab Smash on Twitter. Probably know me better from there. Um, Man, I do a little bit of everything. So I was kind of jotting down some like recap stuff, and I've only been in security for a year and a half now.
Cool.
I've only actually worked in tech for a year and a half. Before that, I kind of had a separate life. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's been a wild year. I mean, my day to day, I do vulnerability management for a big company. Um, I also pen test for a smaller startup called Black Mirage. Shout out to them.
Woo!
Cool.
They're awesome. They're awesome. And then just some consulting here and there, some teaching, some, whatever. So it's kind of cool. I get to do a little bit of blue team, a little bit of red team.
But you just kind of came on the scene out of like nowhere, and now you're like you're, I would say, a major force. I mean, you're at the conventions, you're out and about, you've got a very sort of like wide range of topics and ideas that you cover on Twitter.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of, yeah, I just kind of post whatever I find interesting. And, if people find it interesting, that's awesome. If not, then that's fine too. I don't do it for a following or anything. I just do it to share things that I find interesting. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, it just kind of blew up. I only made my Twitter last December. So it's been right around a year now. And before
So
that, I mean,
as someone new to InfoSec, and InfoSec Twitter can, shall we say, be a little bit challenging. How are you coping? And do you have any like people heroes that you go to and that you kind of like take advice from, or is it just kind of like you're just smashing forward?
A little bit of both, I would say. I don't know. I came in, so I've worked in a male dominated industry, and I'm not trying to make this about gender or anything, but I worked as a mechanic all through college, and I'm used to shop talk. I'm used to, people not being your best friend, or people not thinking you belong there or something, whatever. So I don't know. It wasn't really that different for me coming in. It was just like, oh, cool, another field where people don't really like. There's some people that just don't want me here, but that's fine.
Same for me, same for everybody else.
Exactly. Yeah. There's always going to be people that don't want you there and people that don't like you. I mean, you're not going to please everyone, right? So, yeah, there's some of it I just ignore. I've gotten a lot of flack for kind of keeping my messages open, but I find that the people that I've gotten to help kind of outweigh having to sift through some of the crap that I get in my inbox.
Yeah.
And there are other people that I go to. There's a lot of people like Caitlin and Caitlin Badass Boden, and then Ali Asset Goddess. They're like two of my best friends. So the three of us kind of, we can lean on each other when we need to. And a lot of other people in the industry, like Ian Coldwater reached out to me the other day and said some really, really nice things just about
Cool.
Being in the industry. And I don't know, I feel like there's kind of a core group of people that you can really rely on, and that can kind of help you through some of the hate that you get every once in a while.
So, can I ask you a question? Being that you're new, in your own words, to the industry, you're new to tech,
Yes.
you're new to Twitter, and like I say, you joined a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 26,000 followers.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
And you should see your Instagram follower count. It's outrageous.
I've not been looking in, but yeah.
Wow.
That is a significant number of people that are listening to what you've got to say and are interested in the things that you're doing and all that kind of stuff. Am I right in saying that to a point recently you were involved in the badass stuff?
Yeah. I don't work for them or anything, but I definitely,
Sure.
I'll share something that they post on their behalf. It's definitely an organization that I'll totally support.
Sure. So I guess the question is, What does your day look like on social media?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially I don't know. I work like 4 jobs too, so I just
And work out regularly, because I
I
think
do.
you have like the mind body thing going on to focus and stuff. I know that's a big part of your message out there.
I like lifting, yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no. So, like, I mean, my regular day, I guess, on social media, and just in general. I mean, I'm always up super early. I think a lot of the answers I just really don't sleep all that much.
Yeah.
I get up early. You know, a lot of my stock is kind of all over the place. I have people in Asia, I have people in Australia, I have people in India, and I have a lot of my team is in the UK as well. So my calls are like all over the place in terms of times. Like there's times I wake up super early in the morning, you know, have a couple calls and like kind of take the middle of my day to just like do the things that I need to get done. And then I'll usually end up logging on, you know, later in the day again,
Hmm.
and working
Yeah.
late at night as people, you know, that I have to work with are kind of coming online. So I kind of work like a weird split almost. Like I get up early, I get a lot of stuff done. I kind of take the middle of the day and do the things that I need to get done. And then like the evenings I'm back to work. But it kind of works out because I think a lot of people are really active on social media kind of in that middle of the day. And um, it just
If
happens to be when I have time to post. So
if you had advice for like a young lady or young man coming into infosec Twitter, what would you tell them? What do they need to know that you didn't know when you started?
Um, I think a lot of it is so people are going to act like they know a lot more than you, and that's not always the case. Um, but there are a lot of people you can learn from as well. So it's you really got to take kind of things that people say at face value. You can't get offended super easily. I don't know if you're easily offended, if you're super sensitive, it's going to be a hard place for you because people are not always nice. And it's
Yeah.
not saying anything specific about InfoSec Twitter, but just, I mean, the world in general, you're going to encounter not nice people all over the place.
Are the majority of your followers of the infosec community, or is it like a wide range? Because you've got a lot of different interests, right?
I do. I would say like 80 to 90% are probably InfoSec.
Wow. Okay, that
Yeah.
high. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
At least as far as I know, at least the people that I've engaged with.
So clearly, Mike and I are doing stuff wrong then. I think that's the big takeaway, right?
I don't know, man. I mean, I've had a lot of people criticize me and say, like, why do you post things that aren't InfoSec? And I'm like, I'm not sitting here
Oh,
trying.
yes. That. Sean, do you want to talk about that?
How dare you use your personal Twitter account to not do anything according to whatever they want?
I
Like, how
love
dare
that
you?
level of gatekeeping of how, oh, I follow you because you post infosec, but you posted something about cats, so now I'm not going to follow you.
Yes, people give me a lot, like, or they'll be like, oh, why are you posting? You know, I still work as a genetic scientist, as a consultant, and people are like, why are you posting things about genetics? That's not InfoSec. And I'm like, I'm allowed to like more than one thing. You need to calm down.
It's one of the things I think on Twitter that really pisses me off above all else because it's my persona.
It's a long list.
Well, yeah, it kind of is a long list, but it's my persona. I don't lie about who I am. I don't make any, false pretenses about what I do and all that kind of stuff. And I love Liverpool Football Club, and but I fear occasionally about posting about football because people are going to lose their shit about it, and my answer to that is, well, fuck you. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
and I think, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
It's your Twitter. Post whatever you find interesting. If people don't like it, then they'll unfollow you, and that's great. Like if they don't take interest in you having interests as a person, are they someone you really want in your life anyway? I mean,
And it's a really good point because I don't know. The narcissist in people would be about gaining followers, but I do find it kind of loosely liberating to lose followers. It's all right.
it is. I
It's
mean,
kind
it
of
means
cool.
you're making points, right? Like it means if you're if you're making waves, then you're doing something right to an extent. I mean, if you're like to an extent, there's different circumstances, obviously, but
Yeah, absolutely.
Or in Mike's case, just getting banned from Twitter.
Yes.
That does happen.
Have you been banned yet from Twitter?
I have
Gabby?
not. Someone
Okay.
thought I was, and they sent me like a they texted me and were like, "Congrats on your first Twitter ban." I was like, "Wait, what did I do?" Like, so I
I've
went
been
on, and
banned.
it wasn't me; it was Caitlin.
Okay.
But it was for something that she had said on my post.
Oh.
So I guess I don't know. They got confused, but it was that guy who said that really nasty stuff to me. And Caitlin commented on it and was like, "I will, I will." I think she said, "I will fling that man into the sun" or something. And Twitter
Yes.
banned her for that.
Yeah. Yet we have a
Oh.
president that can, threaten to nuke another country, and that's okay.
Oh,
Good
that was
Lord.
a word I'd not even learned. And bear in mind, Gab, I'm old. Okay, so
Like, yeah.
but fuck off, Ian. You're old to me. But yeah, somebody used the word yeet, and
Such a good word.
yeeting somebody into the sun, which is what that dude said in that response to Caitlin, I think.
Yes.
What the fuck does yeet mean? I don't want to Google it. Just tell me.
It means to thrill, but it's like, I don't know. I've argued with people about like the past tenses of it too. Like, is the past tense yote or is it yeeted? Oh,
Oh.
how young are you? Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
it's okay.
yeah.
I'm 28, so I'm getting up there.
Cool. I'm 46. There we go.
I don't even want to say like my age because I'll just feel ancient. But Windows NT 3.51 was a thing.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right.
I
Cool.
know a lot about modems. Okay.
Right. Anyway, enough about us. This is
Yeah.
about Gab.
Yeah.
Right, Gab. So talk about your normal week that's not social media. So what do you do? What's you you do a bit of pen testing, you do a bit of blue team, you do a bit of red team, and all that kind of stuff. Interesting that you do that kind of science stuff as well.
Yes.
That probably none of us do. But talk about some of your work.
Yeah. So like I said, my day to day is vulnerability management. I have a lot of clients in like different areas, so it's kind of cool. I get to deal with healthcare, and I get to deal with transportation, and just kind of still cutting my teeth in that area. I outside of my normal 9 to 5, which isn't really a 9 to 5, we discussed. I I pen test for Black Mirage, so we have some smaller engagements. We've got some people that we're training up. That's also the group that I do a lot of my workshops and stuff with. So like Carson, the CEO, and I did a web app pen test workshop at OWASP Boston month or so ago, and that was fun. It was my first workshop, and just kind of get to do some cool, like anything I'm interested in, like learning or pen testing or anything. I'm just like, hey, I want to learn this, and they're like, cool, go for it. So it's cool. I get to do my current areas of kind of focus. Obviously, I've been in the medical device security kind of ring for the last year, but I'd like to do IoT and vehicle and canvas security. Like I said, I was a mechanic, so just learning about kind of the different protocols used in vehicles, and then just securing them is really interesting to me. Outside from that, like I said, I teach I do some cyber stuff. I do some other consulting with some other agencies or entities or whatever, and then I got my genetic science gig whenever that pops something up. So that's kind of a cool welcome reprieve from InfoSec. Suddenly I get to kind of switch gears and like read a bunch of medical jargon. And I don't know, it sounds boring, but it's kind of fun to,
it's fascinating this. And again, and I've said this like 4 times tonight, somebody that's doing a far more interesting job than me in the world.
I know this is both humbling and depressing all at the same time.
But I guess, Gabby, the question that I've got for you is, when and how did that kind of flip happen, where you suddenly went from being into genetic science and mechanics and all that kind of stuff into InfoSec? How did that flip happen? Where did it happen?
Well, it started in college. I was in college, and my majors were actually psychology and neuroscience.
Right.
And I worked as a mechanic because it was what I was interested in, but I knew I didn't want to do it as my actual job for the rest of my life. So that was kind of just like my get me through college kind of job. So I knew once I graduated, that wasn't going to be what I did anymore. So I would say that's more of a hobby. But yeah, once I graduated, I started working in pharmaceutical regulation, doing like genetic reviews and PK reviews for FDA sanctioned studies. And along with that, I got to deal with a lot of the medical devices that were under review and things like that as well. And I just kept getting these crazy reports because I would always get like these insane reports anytime something went wrong during a drug trial. Like it would hit my desk first, which was always really fascinating. But um same thing happened with medical devices. So I'd get this report and like I just kept getting them, and they kept saying like this was able to be breached. They just kept having these vulnerabilities, and I was super unfamiliar with information security. Like I was not a tech person at all.
Okay.
So
because you
I don't
started
know.
as a scientist and a mechanic.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
tech. I'd say that's quite tech,
I
actually.
mean,
Not-
it is, but in a
not
roundabout
tech.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So I
very
don't
cool.
know. I was just interested in it, and I was like, I want to learn more about this, and so I did, and
So
then I just kind of
you're
moved into
familiar.
InfoSec.
You're familiar with I am the cavalry, right?
Yes.
Josh Corman's work.
Yes.
So he's working at the public policy level, and you're sort of more at the time you were more boots on the ground. Do you feel like there's a lot of work to be done in medical device? Do you feel there's progress, or do you feel like, oh my God, don't put that ever inside me because I will die?
There's been a lot of progress. I mean,
It's
so the way
comforting.
it kind of, the way it kind of came about, I don't know. We just got so hung up on, all the medical progress that we were making. Like suddenly we have these pacemakers that we can put in people, and doctors can remotely monitor everything. Like that's freaking amazing. Like nobody thought when they were creating those things that, oh, someone might try to try to mess with this. I
Kill
mean, like
the
it just wasn't
president, like I think it was
exactly.
Cheney. Yeah.
It just wasn't on anyone's radar at that point. And I mean, it was an oversight, but I don't think it's also hard to fault anyone for it, because it just really wasn't part of any landscape, when these things were in development. And yeah, I think they're better. I'm hesitant. I mean, if like I went to the doctor tomorrow and they were like, we're gonna give you a pacemaker, I'd be like, all right, we're gonna talk. But
Yeah.
but I don't know. They've come a long way. I actually have an article coming out next year, probably. I gave my first talk ever on medical device security, and I got cornered afterwards by this lady. It was terrifying, actually, but she's the cryptologic commandant at the NSA, and she's like, I want to write a paper with you, and I was like, okay, that sounds cool.
That's kind of awesome.
It was super cool.
I tend to avoid anyone with the name Commandant. Just
oh my gosh, she's like the coolest person I've ever met, though. Like I couldn't even. I was just like, I want to be your best friend. Let's do this. So she's just
Cool.
amazing. So yeah, we've got a paper coming out actually next year. I think it's actually a UK publication.
Oh, nice.
It's the I forget what it's called, but it's a cybersecurity journal. It's peer reviewed, and we are going to be going into in depth not only about the specific vulnerabilities that are plaguing a lot of the medical device industry, but also kind of what's being done to mitigate it. I mean, the FDA has put out a lot of guidance. MITRE has put out a lot of guidance. They're kind of working together, so it's been a really good, I guess, run to try and secure some of these things.
That's great news and fantastic contribution.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's pretty exciting for my first year.
Yeah, I would say you're having a good year. So, I mean, you gave us a little view of 2020. Are we going to see more of you at conferences, or are we going to see more sort of research? Like, where are you kind of taking your career?
Hopefully both. I kind of switched gears. I mean, I've been talking on medical device security pretty much all year. So when I submitted for Blue Team Con, I kind of submitted something a little bit different, something that I have been doing some work with, and that I was interested in really like basically making myself research more of. So I'll be giving a talk at Blue Team Con 2020. That's the first one that I think I've kind of signed up for, but it's on tactical the use of like tactical information. So like human intelligence, signals intelligence, geospatial intelligence and stuff, and how that could actually be helpful in blue team operations. So yeah, that's going to be my kind of focus as I start to ramp up talks for the next year. I'm hopefully doing a couple workshops potentially in the UK, so that could be fun. And I really want to get some more IoT and, like I said, vehicle research kind of under my belt. Start doing a little bit more. I've just really been enjoying, researching for myself, and like if I feel like I can write something comprehensive about a topic, then I feel like I understand it. So
Awesome.
yeah, and I want to move. We'll see.
Move where? Where do you want to move to?
Somewhere
Sheffield.
that's not Ohio.
Not Sheffield.
Yeah, for SteelCon, but only all year round. She can do workshops there. It's lovely.
Scotland's cold and it's got snow.
You know, Scotland is like it's an item of, it's a sore spot in my family right now, because my mom's side of the family, we're like super Irish, like 100%. My mom's an Irish citizen, so like yeah, we're 100% Irish, but she did like the whole ancestry thing, and we found out that we're like a little bit Scottish, and oh my god, you would have thought.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody will always find some way to monetize whatever data they can get about you. And
well, not only that, but so one of the really interesting discussions in healthcare and HIPAA and everything is you can't really de-identify DNA. So
that is an amazing point. Yep.
Yeah. So it's really hard. I know like there's been a lot of back and forth when HIPAA became more enforced, especially with GDPR kind of started ramping up too. They were like, how do we store these samples?
Yeah.
Because like you can blind them, you can do whatever you want, but there's still someone's genetic material. They can still be traced back.
I mean, my information in a breach can be changed, right?
That's right.
So my email address, I can lose it. I don't care. My date of birth, no, I can't. But my DNA, absolutely never.
Right.
That's right.
The other thing is your DNA is unique to you. Your date of birth is not unique to you.
No.
True.
That's true. Yeah. Brilliant. All right, Gab. That was a superb talk. Thank you very much indeed for your time. And
yes, thank you.
Would you ever consider going back to motor vehicle engineering if, push came to shove and I needed a new clutch?
I will totally do side work. So yes, I can do that for you.
But it's superb that. I mean, what a portfolio of a skill that you've got.
It helps. It's very similar in a lot of ways.
That's amazing. So yeah, on behalf of the beer farmers and people listening, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.